As we roll along with our Black History Month celebration, I'm so excited to welcome two distinguished members of the Rosemoor Community Association, and that's the president, Gloria Cosey, and vice president, Godfrey Lawson. How are you both today?
Good morning, doing great.
Good morning, and thanks for inviting us for your video.
It's really an honor to have you both, and I want to start with you, Gloria, if that's all right. Focusing on Black History Month, tell me a bit about how the Rosemoor Community Association is celebrating.
The Rosemoor Community Association, we have two celebrations in honor of Black history. We have the Dr. Martin Luther King Gateway Initiative, which we celebrated January 15th, but that's in connection with the Black history, the lead up to Black History Month. We focus on really education for our young to give them more of an insight or impact into what Black history really means. We have a MLK project that is connected to the bridge at 99th and King Drive, and it's already been dedicated. It's the Dr. Martin Luther King Gateway Memorial Bridge. Last year, we had a celebration that included posting of a commemorative Rosa Park, because we are trying to illustrate and show there are numerous Black leaders that we as a Black race need to look back in history and rediscover. We also did a Black history program called Lift Up Their Names, Honor the History Makers. And we focus a lot on history makers that really is not that well known to many of the younger generation. And Chicago State has been great partners, because we've done youth program there that has really brought in the community and illustrated our desire and our commitment to improving our community and to really illustrate what it is to be Black in America.
Wonderful initiatives, and I'd love to hear from both of you on this regarding highlighting some people who are less well known in history. Who's someone who you think more people really ought to learn about?
Good question. So many. I guess we can take it regionally. One pops up in my mind is historical or entertainment wise. Was Don Cornelius was a lifelong, well, a resident of the far south side of Chicago, grew up in this area, and his influence on the entertainment sector. And going back to what Gloria had said earlier, is about like informing people of the diverse nature other than Martin Luther King, powerful figure, but we're so complex, so deep with people who did the struggle, people who put their sweat into the game. I wish I'd have become better prepared, but Don Cornelius was a local guy who made it big, who had a huge influence on Black culture on TV. I'm a person of a certain age. I grew up with American Bandstand. You know, I couldn't identify with it, but I could love the songs and everything. And then Don Cornelius comes along with, he started locally with his show, televising Black people doing the same thing. So it was a good influence that, you know, Far South Side did produce a lot of people who were influential, maybe not that degree of martyrdom, but very influential. So.
And one of the people that comes to mind for me, and it was really one of my heroes, was Webb Evans. And he was a Black activist that really pushed and promote Black wealth. How do you go about it, and how do you build your economic base? He worked tirelessly in the Black community, stressing that fact that, you know, power come with wealth, and you must learn how to claim it. He was over 100 years old, but his entire life, he ran around promoting Black products, organizing communities to try to get them to invest in their community. And so that is so important. We need that more today. And even though, I mean, he's a hero and a local hero, and he's nationally known too, but it's someone that our children, our people today can relate to, because he's a living hero that it's tangible, that you can visually see his work. They named a building after him on 7th and 9th. It's an incubator building for a workforce development building, because his work was just that important. I just cannot stress what influence he had on the Black community in promoting economic development.
And Gloria, you mentioned children understanding who he is, and of course, understanding who so many icons are. This is Black History Month, and it's a look back at the past and then applying it to development in the future, like you said. So I'd love to hear from both of you on why it's so important to educate ourselves with that history.
Well, one of the most important reasons, you really cannot go forward unless you really know where you came from, and that you know your base of your history. What are you building your legacy on? I mean, how do you reach out when you're not really sure of what your base is? It's so important that you learn about your history. We sat on a Zoom thing with the Underground Railroad, which really stressed the struggle. And when people see the struggle, how people got from here to there, it's so important. And the only way you know that is that you learn your history. And unfortunately, in our schools today, more and more is being taken out, and that's a disservice.
I like to add to that too. If you don't see it, how can you become it? But if you see it, hear about it, there's an opportunity that it could grab your interest or spark your interest going towards a whatever non-traditional path is nowadays. Not everybody can dribble a basketball or run with a football, but artists, poets, scholars, athletic. I'll go back to this too about Chicago State. There's a swimming, pool in there. Swimming is something that was non-traditional Black, as they say. But it gives opportunities. If you see someone of your own color doing this, it may spark some interest to say, I can do that too. Challenge that young mind to say, this path, I'll go down this road today and everything. But the more exposure to the diverse people who came before us, people who are now, gives the young people a little bit better opportunity to say, well, I'm not just in this one little box.
And you mentioned swimming. That's a sport that's near and dear to Chicago State's heart. Of course, we got the pool.
Yes.
But Fred Evans, he was the first ever Black All-American in the sport of swimming, a Chicago State student a few decades ago. So that's one near and dear to the campus. And I know both of you have some ties to Chicago State just by virtue of being in the area for so long. So I'd love to hear from both of you about the university as a tie-in to that message that's so important of education.
Well, I'll go first if I might. Like I say, my Chicago State, I grew up in the area when it was a rail yard. They had a 6-foot red fence all around from Cottage Grove to King Drive. At the time, it was South Park, 95th to 99th Street. But as kids, we'd hop over the fence and explore whatever the wildlife and be chased out by the local railroad people. But when Chicago State came in, the fence came down. It gave us a clear view of the other side of a neighborhood. It gave us another way to explore. A green space in the middle of the far south side of Chicago was excellent. Plus, it provided educational opportunities. And for me personally, from the breaking ground until recently, it's a, how can I say that? It's a green emerald jewel in the far south side of Chicago, and the building, the architecture, just the diverse student base is good to see people getting off of 95th and the CTA, the different diverse groups of people going to this place. So if you see it, it's welcoming. And how can I say that highlights the south side? There are good things on the far south side. And Chicago State is one of those jewels.
Absolutely. And I'm just so thrilled that that it is beginning to pick up, to spotlight being a part of the community. It almost makes you feel like a family. and it's like a college community. Once,
Yeah.
you know, some of the program is enacted, we're going to see some really great diversity, some great development in the community that I think everyone will want to be engaged and feel that they are part of it, because each person in the community have a chance to be a part of this legacy, to grow the Chicago State Campus as a family, as a community, a stakeholder invested in the community. And the spotlight and the action that we've seen in the past from Chicago State shows that they are really interested, and that too is what they like to see happen, that more embracement from the community, and that we all are able to have a voice and to have a stake, a part in the development.
Well, being here on campus every day, I mean, I can say firsthand, I see that too from the other side, right? Reaching out to the community, creating this culture. And I love what you've both said about, and Godfrey, you with this is an emerald jewel in the middle of Chicago. So we're honored to be part of the community, and I'm honored to have had both of you today. So really, thank you,
Great.
Gloria, Godfrey, for your time, and thanks for spreading your wisdom.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Sam. We're good
Thank
talking
you.
with you.